Hi, this is Kylie Koo. Welcome to my studio and welcome to Creating a Positivity Deck. This is week 17 and the word for this week is grow. So after the slow down phase, I've been enjoying the rise phase, just starting to think about energy and where I'm kind of going with all of this. And I suppose, just working through the different prompts of awaken, stretch, energy, renew, grow now seems to be the next logical step. So as I sat down to think about grow, I was thinking about what is it that I want to grow into. And I suppose thinking about what the positivity deck is about, and this being a kind of holistic approach, I was thinking about all those things around mind, body and spirit, and also about taking on new things and, what was it I wanted to do? What do I want to do creatively? I want to grow creatively. There are so many things I want to learn about. And I know that a few months ago, I started to think, there's so much I want to learn, but at the same time, there's so little time. I just don't have time to do everything I want to do. So again, I'm coming back to that notion of thinking about perhaps I just need to prioritise. So rather than feeling overwhelmed by all these things that I want to do, just taking it one step at a time. But I was also thinking about perhaps, what else does grow mean? I think it sometimes means about stepping out, stepping up, stepping forward, just pushing ourselves that little bit, or perhaps not so much pushing, but just having the confidence to learn something new, to say, yes, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this. Although not all growing is about sitting down, you might want to take up running or something like that, but, definitely thinking about where next. And I feel that I'm growing with the positivity deck. It's allowing me to think about things, to think about myself, to think about what it is I want, and so moving forward there. But one of the things, when I sat down to journal, I started to think back to when I was sitting in the garden for a little while last week, and I was watching clematis starting to grow. I've got various clematis plants around the garden, and they were kind of pushing out these green shoots, pushing up into the blue sky. And as I sat and watched, I thought, it's wonderful how they are pushing out, pushing forward. But at the same time, some of the stems, some of the stalks are quite tender. They're quite thin, and when there was a breeze, I could see them waving about in the breeze. And then as I started to look more at these plants, I realised what they do to help themselves grow. They push out these little tendrils, and they then curl them around other things, sometimes around the plant itself, sometimes around other plants, sometimes around structures. So really very clever. So they have that kind of enthusiasm to push out there, to grow, and to climb up the way. But at the same time, they recognise that sometimes they need a little bit of support, a little bit of help in order to allow them to do what they want to do. And I realised that that's the same for me. I want to be bold, I want to take that step forward, but sometimes just need that little bit of help and support. And that help and support can come in lots of different ways. It can be through encouragement, support of family and friends. In terms of learning things, it can be watching things on YouTube, or elsewhere. So, that's about help and support. And one of the things that I then added back into the journal was actually about helping others. So it's about giving support as well, giving help as well. And that's about growing too. We grow to recognise what we can actually offer others, how we can help and support others. So my card this week is very straightforward. I put a layer of white paint on my card. I then put some of the periwinkle blue. I'm just trying to, I suppose, show the sky here. And all I'm doing at this bit is to use the excess paint that was on my brush. And there was still some white there, and I was happy with that because this is the sky and, just little bits of the kind of wispy clouds in there. But I think I realised quite quickly that this card was not going to be complicated, and it really was going to be that clematis, because that very much represented for me the word grow. So although I'd looked out some green paints, I actually turned to these pens. I don't know the make of them. Again, these were pens that I just got in the stationery section of one of the supermarkets. Some are kind of sparkly and others are plain. And all I'm doing here is to draw in that stalk of the clematis, and then to draw in the sets of leaves that come off from the stalk. What I'll then do is just to take another colour and I just fill in the leaves. I put the tiniest amount of detail on, and then I draw in the tendrils. So I'll leave it for just a minute and just let you see this bit of the process through. So after putting on just a very sketchy border, I write the word grow. And all I'm trying to do here is also just to put on some tendrils coming from the word grow. So this to me is just that reminder that I want to kind of branch out, push onwards and upwards, and as part of that grow, but also to realise that sometimes I will need help and support, but also to realise that I can give help and support to others to help them grow. So it's a short one this week, but I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're not already a member of the Facebook group and you'd like to be, then please do send a join request. There's lots of inspiration in there from all the members who are very generously sharing their thoughts and their work on the various cards within the Positivity deck. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed this. I will take a few moments just to reflect on my journal and the positivity that I've imbued into this card. So as always, thank you for your support and your help and your encouragement. And I hope you'll join me again next week for the next card in the Positivity Deck series. Bye for now.